The other day, I was driving to work and I saw a man on the side of the road with two little boys. They looked like they were 6 and 8 years old. Something about that stayed with me because, let's be real, when we see somebody asking for money, we immediately become investigators. Is this a scam? Does he really need it? Why are those kids out there? And listen, scammers exist. We know that. But from my car window, I couldn't tell if I was looking at a scammer or a father who had just simply ran out of options. And if we're being truthful, a whole lot of us are a lot closer to needing help than we've ever liked to admit. I looked at those boys and I was thinking, that could have been me. Because that man and I have something in common. We're both trying to make sure our kids eat, period. Maybe he needs $30 more for a hotel tonight. Maybe he starts a new job tomorrow. Maybe everything in his life is actually on the way back up, and I just happened to catch him right in the ugliest hour of the comeback. I don't know. And that's the point. I saw a few seconds. God saw every mile. That's why we can't talk about someone who's in a chapter God is still writing. I know what it feels like for God to come through. I remember finishing a long service shift, knowing I still needed about $80 towards my rent for the next day. And I was tired and I was ready to go home, and one last table came in. It wasn't even supposed to be my table. I was just nearby. I was in position. So I took it. It was only three people. And customarily on their check, I probably would have expected like a $20 tip. They tipped me $375. That night reminded me that provision could show up in ways that you never saw coming. And that's why I'm careful about judging somebody by the worst moment that I just happened to see them in. Because I needed $80 for rent. I was working, I had a home, I had a job, and I was still one good tip away from not knowing how I was going to make the rent the next day. That man's circumstances may have looked completely different from mine, true. Maybe he lost his job. Maybe somebody who normally helps him couldn't help this time. Maybe life hit him from three different directions at once. I don't know. And honestly, that part is none of my business. What I do know is that some of us have had moments where things could have got real crazy if someone hadn't come through for us. Think about yours. That moment when you didn't have enough, when the job disappeared, when COVID shut everything down, when the company closed, when the check was late, when somebody gave you somewhere to stay, when somebody loaned you the money, somebody fed you, when somebody answered the phone. Now imagine they hadn't. That's the part we forget. We forget that we made it through. We forget how close we were to not knowing what to do next. And some of us call it wisdom now, but at that time, it was survival. So maybe his hardest moment happened to be standing on the side of the road where everybody could see it. Yours may have been behind a closed door. That doesn't make mine or yours more dignified. It just made his more visible. Maybe that was the hardest hour of his week. Maybe help was already on the way and he just couldn't see it yet. That's what I know about God. He can shift the situation before the person standing in it even knows it's shifting. And when he gives you proof of that, pour it. Because somebody might be thirsty for what you had to survive.